Well, Aymenn Jawad Al-Tamimi is a fellow at the Rubin Centre for Research in International Affairs. He joins me now from the town of Majdal Shams in the occupied Golan Heights. Aymenn, thank you very much for joining us on TRT World. Let's just start first of all with something that you may or may not be qualified to answer where you are. But do you think, as the German Interior Minister believes, the files are genuine?
There's nothing definitively to show that they're not genuine, that they're fakes. I mean, in the past, we've had many purported IS documents that have circulated in the media that were fake and were quite bad forgeries. This one doesn't quite come into that category. There are certain oddities in the labeling and format. Like there's a strange logo on the bottom right of the documents, but you can't use that to definitively say they're fake. And also, some of the other objections that were raised to these documents aren't so sound. Like it was claimed, for example, that these documents can't be real because Islamic State doesn't have a concept of borders and an administration of borders. And I can definitively say that's not true. They do have a concept of borders, despite their ideology dictating that they should eventually rule the whole world. So I think there's still a case to be made that it's still worthwhile, I think, to proceed on the basis that there's something to these documents and they're worth subjecting to analysis.
And are they current and up to date, or are they a little bit out of date and not very useful?
They're useful from the historical perspective, I think, assuming that they're authentic, that is. What you find is that these documents, they reflect, the ones that have emerged, they reflect time period of 2013 to early 2014, which saw a large influx of foreign fighters into Syria generally, coming in through the northern border with Turkey. And of course, a lot of these people ended up joining ISIS. I think one of the impetuses was Hezbollah's intervention, declaring its intervention in Syria in May of 2013. That really did give rise to this surge in foreign fighters. So from this perspective, the documents might be useful from a historical perspective, but in terms of current value, that's less clear. For example, many of the border areas that are mentioned as fighters as having crossed through in the documents, they're no longer accessible for would-be IS recruits because Islamic State is no longer present in those border areas like Azaz and Idlib and Latakia.
And we've seen some of these documents. They have some rather banal questions on them, the sort of things you'd find in human resources. Fighter's name, mother's maiden name, blood type, marriage status, level of education, level of obedience, level of Sharia understanding. We can see all these things on our screen right now. Have they fought before? It really does show DAESH. It has this organization, much like a company would.
Yes, I mean, that's very apparent from other documents that have come to light. For instance, blood type comes up in like military ID cards that the Islamic State has issued. Also, in terms of trying to sort out recruits by specialties, this would be a very logical thing to do, and of course, this also comes out in other Islamic State documents, like employing recruits as administration officials, as religious clerics, and other roles beyond simply that of fighting on the front lines. So in terms of bureaucracy of Islamic State, yes, you could make the case, assuming these documents are authentic, of building the idea of Islamic State as a bureaucratic, sophisticated bureaucracy. And that's a very apparent impression from hundreds of other Islamic State documents that have come to light.
Okay, Aymenn Jawad Al-Tamimi, thank you very much for your analysis.